So, alright guys, we gotta get this one right. On three, we're gonna say welcome back to Extraordinary Thoughts for the Ordinary Mind. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to Extraordinary Mind.
And we back.
That'll work right there.
Yeah.
And we back. And we
Yeah.
back. And we back. And we back. And we
Y'all did y'all best. And that's all that matters.
a lot of enthusiasm and emotion just to say my intro, and it's hard right now. It's not like it's hard. It's hard, but what's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcast with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thickpen, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of Extraordinary Thoughts for the Ordinary Mind. 1 week out, 1 week into this situation. And for you already know, I'm not even about to explain to you what type of Friday this is. This is already Unfuck Yourself Friday, and I'm in an unfucked up ass mood on an unfucked up ass day, given an unfucked up ass situation. Apologize for all the unfucking believable F-bombs, but I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. It's just been a lot. It's been definitely a lot this week. From going down my phone and just seeing just like my prayers and condolences still go out to the Floyd family. And I don't know why this one hit me so hard the way that it did. I was upset about the injustice with Amon. I was upset about the injustice with everyone that came before him. But for some reason, this one hit me a little bit more than what it normally did. I don't know. Maybe it's because I can literally Google his death. I don't know. Maybe when I Wikipedia it, they have a screenshot of his death. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because throughout my entire timeline, everyone is on the same page in the United States of America. Everybody is protesting, or somebody is in a riot or something of that nature. I don't know. Maybe it's hitting me hard because I'm so emotionally invested in so many departments of this situation, because I can tell you right now, if you're just looking at this one situation as just one thing, like for example, if you're looking at this situation as just a sandwich and not the bread, the meat, the cheese, the lettuce, the tomatoes, then you fucking wrong. And I feel like I'm so emotionally invested in the different layers of this situation that I'm just so torn up. I cried. I cried on my way to work a couple of days ago. And I don't know where I cried from. And I don't know why I started crying. I mean, I was driving down the road. You know what I mean? I'm driving down the road on my way to work. And I'm listening to J. Cole, and I don't know what he said. I don't know if it was something in the chorus. I don't know if it was just a melody. But for some reason, it just started coming down. And I tried to do one of those Michael B. Jordan tear wipes. You know what I mean? Like, if you've ever seen Michael B. Jordan in Creed or like Black Panther, any movie where he cries like a thug, like that thug cry. Like he let that one tear come down, and then he tries to he really pushes it off of his face. And I tried to do that. And they just kept coming. They just kept coming down. And I didn't understand why I was crying. This is one of those, I'm okay, but I'm not really okay. I'm okay, but I'm not really okay, but I gotta really make it work. Because right after I got done crying, I got out of my car and I got to train the Marines again. Because this one's bigger than me. Monday when I did that episode, I really wish I wouldn't have done it. I had a lot of emotions swirling into me. And the problem when you got a lot of emotions, and this is one thing I really want you to understand before we even start this episode, because we haven't even gotten started yet, is that it's so important to take a step back. It's so important to be able to take a step back and allow yourself to emotionally digest the situation, because as I got on the air, I really did the best that I could to speak, to talk, but my words were just so jumbled up. Even a video that everybody has like been viewing, it's still me just jumbled up. And that was just 72 hours of me just in it. So this part right here, this is where I really just want to talk to you about the me now a little bit, a week into it, the things that I have learned. Let's go ahead and get into today's episode. One thing that I have acquired, and let me rephrase it, like I've learned to develop a little bit more, fine tune just a little bit more, with my empathy. And for those who didn't know, I wasn't really an empathetic person. Like I kind of lack. It's not that I lacked it, but I just didn't. My reserves were always low. No. I actually have high empathy levels. I'm more detached than I am with everybody because I know I have high empathy levels. That's really the case. And I know how much it drains us. But some of y'all, man, before we even get into that portion, I just really want to say, me as a leader, that's really what it came down to. I learned to become a more empathetic leader. That's really the words right there. I learned to become a more empathetic leader. And I assure you, if you can't learn anything throughout this entire situation, if you are not able to pull anything out of this entire situation, then I don't know what the fuck you doing with life. But I learned to be a more empathetic leader. And I say I learned to be a more empathetic leader because, just like what I mentioned earlier, there are so many more layers to this entire situation. It's just not the whole situation of what's going on. There's just so many other emotional layers invested into this. There's so many other things, and I had to learn how to understand all of those things because I have people under my charge. People under my charge in these compartments, in these departments that I still have to be able to attend to. I still got to. That just one group of people just ain't invested in this situation. Let me rephrase. One group of people just ain't affected in this situation. I really had to take a step back on that. Because I said it in Monday's episode. You know what I mean when I said that? Don't let the media fool you and change the narrative of other people. Let me rephrase. Don't let the media distract you from your reality, but don't let the current reality deter or misconstrue your perception of other people. I really had to get into that because it just hurts. And I feel like this is probably the first time I've ever really spoke on it like that in the Marine Corps, but it really hurt because I'm a black man. Fuck. I'm a black man and I'm watching somebody else that looks like me with skin like mine get killed on national television. And it hurt. It hurt. And as I'm sitting here emotionally conflicted, I tell you right now, I'm emotionally conflicted. I'm emotionally enraged. I'm emotionally charged. I'm still trying to be politically correct. I'm emotionally upset, but I'm still trying to be rational when I think about it. But I really had to take a step back because although I'm invested in this right now and it hurts, you still a leader. You still a leader. And you need to take a step back real quick. Go ahead and accept the emotions that you got going on, but really take a step back real quick. Because as I'm hurt right now as a black man, I really had to hurt. And I feel like I was hurting for my Marines. And I felt like I was hurting for Marines that I never even met yet. I was hurting for the Marines who have, or the people who just have family in the police force. And I say I was hurting for them in a way that it just hurt differently because I know I can only imagine what's going on right now with you. Everybody's upset with one entity right now. Everybody's saying, fuck the police, X, Y, and Z. And I can assure you right now, throughout this entire week, I just been doing a lot of unfollowing because you motherfuckers is full of hate. One-way narratives that I just can't fuck with. I'm just going to be honest with you. Call me whatever. Call me playing both sides of the field. But one thing that I ain't going to be is a one direction of hate. So if it's just been one direction, I can assure you, you've been one direction off my goddamn feed. So if you've been saying like, fuck the police, ain't no fuck the police over here. I got family in the fucking police. And it broke my heart because I can only imagine what it must feel like for for that young man or that young woman that's in a room right now and everybody's upset about one situation, but you really got family out there. You really worried about your family right now. And the way things is going, they killing people in your family for shit that they didn't even do. They just upset and they got a lot of hate. But you can't even express that. You can't even express that because ain't nobody really trying to feel that type of emotion for you right now. I really felt for the small business owners, especially for myself who's trying to make that transition as an entrepreneur. And my heart went out and it just felt so heavy to imagine you beating the odds. When I say beating the odds, I'm talking about beating them odds where everybody told you that you couldn't do it. I'm talking about beating them odds when you said that you was just going to jump off the bridge and follow your dreams. I'm talking about beating them odds when everybody said that you should quit, when the life was telling you that you should quit. And you finally just kept pushing no matter what the situation was to finally get your business off the ground. Finally get that brick, those brick by brick building and everything in that way. And your building getting burnt down to the ground. Your business getting burnt down to the ground. I understand that a lot of businesses are online, but there are very much some that are still out there. And it broke my heart. And I saw a video that really just tore me up inside. And it was back during the LA riots. Older black man, and he comes out. He's upset, he's crying, talking about how it ain't fair. How he was in the hood just like they was. How he made it out like some of them and y'all still burnt his business down. He wanted them. This building was in the community. Why would y'all do this to me in the community? I'm one of y'all. I could only imagine that. And my heart went out to them. So when I tell you I really had to be a leader this week, I really had to open myself up as a leader. Oh, man. For the ones that are from those metropolitan cities, LA, Dallas, Houston, Detroit, Atlanta, I had to reach out to them, go up to them, and it really just reinforced things that I was already doing, but it added a little bit more context to why I was doing it. And the world shouldn't have to fucking end for me to really step up as a leader, but it definitely was a wake-up call. Because, I'm going up to them and I'm asking them, is everything good? Are you okay? And they know exactly what I mean. And I remember one of them coming up to me and saying, "Sorry, you good?" And I knew exactly what he meant. It was just something about it that just connected differently. So if I can't give you anything in this scenario right here, you don't need the fucking commandant of the Marine Corps to tell you that you need to step up and have these hard conversations. This was something that you should have already been doing prior to. And I say prior to because we get so caught up in this whole idea that we try to keep personal things out of the workplace. But the thing is that how dare you try to say that you're going to keep personal things out of the workplace, but then go out there, ops check your gear to make sure that it's working properly. But you can't even ops check your Marine to make sure that he working properly, because he's got all of this shit going on inside of his head and you can't even ask him. That don't work. And I completely understand that it's harder than what it looks. Because I had somebody come up to me and they came up to me and they just asked me, what am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to say it? Because I feel like I don't relate to them. I feel like I can't relate to what's going on right now. And even if I addressed it or said something, they would just look at me in a manner of like, what the fuck do you know? And I understood exactly what he meant. And I thank God that I've been in these situations before and that experience brought experience because I was able to just tell him right then and there, silence ain't support. I'm going to just be the first one to tell you. And I know that we blacked out on Tuesday, but I'm going to just tell you right now, silence ain't support. And a lot of y'all had already blacked out in the beginning of the situation and still blacked out as of now. So I'm going to tell you right now, silence just ain't fucking support. You don't get to take the damn silent route out and just hope that this shit just go away. Let's just hope that you understand exactly what I'm going through and that we can both just sit back and mentally exchange thoughts. No, silence just ain't the way. Silence ain't support. And I really wanted to give another gem out if I could give anything. And that's for anybody that's thinking like, what can I do? Simply just going up to somebody and saying, I'm there if you need me. Simply going up to somebody and saying, I don't know, I can't relate to exactly what you're going through because I'm just not emotionally invested in it in the manner that you probably are. I've never been in that situation before. And although I may not be able to relate in that sense, I want you to understand that I'm still here for you. And whatever you got going on, then I got going on too. We always talk about fucking loyalty and being a ride or die. This is the goddamn core foundation of what being a ride or die is. Your man's going through something, then guess what? We going through it too. The same way that if you about to fight, then I guess I'm about to fight too. So if you want somebody that's going through this shit right now, that's emotionally torn up, even though you may not be able to relate to the T in the way that they do, you just riding with them because that is somebody that you care about. That's how you support. And obviously there's the other monetary value things where you donate to the causes and everything of that nature. But if you look in just the support, that is it right there. Now, speaking of just support and just silence in general, some of you so-called social media influencers, some of you, I trust and believe when I tell you that I'm kind of conflicted. You know, I'm really conflicted. Because I tried to be outspoken, but I got tired of I'm getting tired of having to constantly explain how I feel about a certain situation and why I should feel about it. You know, I'm conflicted in the sense that I want to be understanding and be open to other people's opinions. But at the same time, I'm just getting so sick and tired of hearing one way directive narratives. I'm so tired of hearing the statistics of one direction. When the statistics really don't matter, when you really that emotionally invested into a situation. And I'm not saying that numbers don't matter, but it's really hard when you can look on TV and see a damn series of people that look exactly like you getting fucking killed in the streets. It's really hard when you know, I try not to get too emotionally invested, but I just can tell you right now, if you've been one of them people that's been given the fucking statistics, take a step back, because imagine if I would have walked in and you celebrating, you mourning the loss of somebody, and I walk in and say, all people die. How fucked up would that be? Or give you the statistics of how many people have died because of this cause. Come on now. Take a step back. That's why I really want to just tell you that empathy just been my best friend throughout this entire situation. But back to you, social media influencers. Because I've been real conflicted. And I say I've been kind of conflicted because I really want to hold some of you quote unquote social media influencers accountable, because y'all talk about how y'all want to spread some form of positivity and motivation. But right now, here it is in a situation where you need to fucking speak up, but you chose silence when we needed to hear you speak. I'm kind of conflicted though, because I feel like I should have chose silence because I probably needed to hear somebody speak. But I'm kind of upset, especially with y'all. And it's just it's only a few, because some of y'all have stepped up. Some of y'all have. But some of y'all post one direction narratives. Paint the picture in one direction. Some of y'all ain't said a fucking thing. And I understand everybody ain't Meech Speaks. Everybody ain't, that's not your job. But I ain't seen nothing come from you. But you ready to talk about another topic. You ready for everybody to invest into this. You want everybody to follow you on this. You want everybody to go to your YouTube channel, do this, X, Y, and Z. That's the problem that I kind of have with y'all right now. Is that you want it so much. But here it is. Now it's time for you to step the fuck up. Like you say in your videos. Like you say under your little captions in your pictures. It's time for you to step up. And you in the crowd. Or as soon as it gets brought up, you want to, push it up under. I just pray that maybe that's just social media. I just pray that maybe I've developed that whole attitude of what the other people have like saw with about you, and that's not really you. That you ain't just doing that in real life. And I understand, like, some people just don't want to put it on their social media because they really just don't know how to act. They don't want to put it there because they just scared of other people's opinions. They don't know how to relate. They don't know how to do this. But I will tell you is that everybody has their own lanes in this situation. And I'm doing my best to not look over in your lane, look over in your fence and wonder why you so quiet over there. Wonder why you ain't doing anything. Wonder why you not addressing anything. Why you ain't saying anything. Just a food for thought type of things. And I'm just going to assume for the best that you're doing it in the real world. But I really just want everyone to be safe. Really just be safe out there. Because I was talking to a dude up in LA and he said it in this way. And for those who haven't known, I've been watching Snowfall. And because he is from that area and I know exactly how he speak, I heard it and I'm probably going to say it exactly how he said it. These are strange times that we in right now. And it really is. And I don't know if it's going to get better or how it's going to, but I know we just definitely need to unfuck it. And hold up, lastly, before I close this episode, and I know majority of my listeners are in the military, but if you a civilian, if you're not in the military, I just really want you to understand that please be easy. Please be easy on the military members. Please be easy. Because unlike y'all who would just get fired from y'all jobs, unlike, the other people that y'all been pressing, talking about like, A, X, Y, and Z, walk with me, march with me and everything like that. I understand your intentions are good, but we will go to the brig. We can't do what y'all asking. We'll go to the brig. I'll just be 100%. We gonna go to the brig. What you asking us to do is disobey lawful orders. We can't do that. Do we have an emotional sense? Absolutely. We are still human. But we also signed and said that we swore to uphold and defend the Constitution, X, Y, and Z. So please stop asking us what it is or what America's doing or anything of that nature in a militant sense. And I bring that up because this week I watched Keke Palmer as she was talking to, some U.S. soldiers. And I'm so happy that I wasn't put in that position because I understand where she was coming from, but her ignorance towards the military, and that's just the ignorance of all civilians towards the military, it really put them in a fucked up situation. Everybody be like, march with us. I can't fucking leave. I can't abandon my post. I'm sorry. That's like literally, so I just really just want everyone to understand that. Fuck, I even bring it up. Like somebody even asked me some dumb shit about how to combat like, law enforcement. Like, are you dumb? Like I would never give out something like that. So please just understand and respect your loved ones that are in the military because we held to a different obligation than y'all are. We're held to a different standard than y'all are. The things that you have the freedom to be able to do, we don't have that luxury. And also, please understand that everything that we say and do, if we are talking about this situation, it does not reflect what the DOD thinks. This is something that we saying. This is what we feeling. And even then, we still got to tiptoe around the shit. So as I close this episode, that's one thing I just really want you to be able to take away from all these situations. And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned Mondays and Fridays. Don't forget to follow the podcast, like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, and share the podcast. And don't forget to review the podcast on your favorite social media platform or your favorite platform where you stream this podcast. And lastly, follow me on Instagram at Meech Speaks. Once again, that is Meech Speak. Meech is spelled MEECH. Stay hungry, stay motivated. I'm out.